Hey guys, it's time to go over the ethics for human research. And again, like I said in all my other videos, the same structure applies: your point, explain, and example. And again, just like all my other videos, we're going to focus on 3 points. Usually it's the amount that you actually need, and you don't really need much more because it's more about time management as well and writing the right amount of information that you need. So let's start off with one good one is deception. Now, one issue that always arises in research is deception, and it's important because the participants should know what they are taking part in. They should be aware what they're required to do, and they need to kind of understand and agree what they're going to be taking part in. If a participant is deceived by the research, then they may actually feel uncomfortable and distressed as they don't know what they're actually taking part in. Now, it's an issue because from the participants' perspective, they should never be deceived without a good cause, and they should actually be able to give full informed consent. However, from the researcher's perspective, it may actually be necessary to deceive the participants in order to avoid demand characteristics, which could actually make the findings meaningless, so there'd be no point in the research. So for example, this is quite a good one. Again, we studied it in PY2, and that is Ash's study into conformity. So the participants didn't actually know that everyone else was a Confederate, deliberately giving the wrong answer. And when they wanted to provide the correct answer, they often felt uncomfortable. Now, Ash's study, many hypotheses, or however you would like to say it, would actually be untestable if deception wasn't used. So if the participants had known that the other Confederates were involved, then Ash wouldn't have been able to study conformity. So again, that's quite an important concept within psychology. There are a lot of things that we wouldn't actually be able to test if we didn't deceive participants. Another one, again, is incredibly important, and I enjoy looking and researching into stuff like this, is actually physical and psychological harm that the participant could suffer. So this is important because participants should not suffer during research, and they should actually leave in the same condition as they were in when they had arrived. So, however, this is an issue because it's not always possible to understand when or if the participants would actually experience any kind of harm. And from the researcher's point of view, studying many aspects in psychology may actually involve distress. And there are a lot of things that we've learned from studies that have actually involved a lot of psychological and sometimes physical harm. Again, using Milgram is like my favourite study, so he's in like most of my examples. So another one, participants in Milgram's study actually showed extreme signs of distress. This includes shaking, trembling, biting their lips, even uncontrollable laughter. I mean, I wouldn't laugh, but I guess it's kind of nervous, isn't it? And if you're doing it uncontrollably, then it must be really bad. And also, 3 participants actually had seizures. Milgram defended this by stating that he could not have known what the participants were going to experience or even how they would react to it. He also surveyed his colleagues prior to the research, and they actually predicted that less than 3% would continue to administer the full 450 volts, and they presumed that less than 3% would do this, and that was such a really bad prediction because it was incredible amount that they actually found, and that actually showed that people wouldn't actually believe that they would continue if they were distressed. Another important one is informed consent. So from the researcher's point of view, informed consent means telling the participants what the study's about. From the participants' perspective is their wish to know what they're going to be taking part in so they can make an informed decision as to whether or not they actually want to participate. So participants may actually have information withheld from them before the study to maintain the validity and to reduce demand characteristics which could make the findings meaningless. This is an issue because the participants should not be lied to. Informed consent is particularly important where harm is actually involved, because they won't actually have the opportunity to agree to something if they knew what the full aims were. Again, using Milgram as an example, the participants suffered distress, had actually not been given the option or the opportunity to decline, as they weren't aware of the true aims and nature of the study, because they believed that they were only consenting to a memory and learning task. However, if they were fully informed about the study and that it was obedience to authority, they would have shown demand characteristics. And again, demand characteristics just make the study kind of pointless. I mean, if they knew what it was about, they're obviously going to behave in a way that they'd like to behave or that they would actually respond to, and it wouldn't show true behaviour. So, they're the 3 points again. Like I said in all my other videos, there are lots of other points that can be used. I just picked 3 separate ones because they're a lot easier to understand. Plus, I picked the ones that I enjoy the most because I don't want to learn something that I don't enjoy. So, yeah, if you have any more questions, any more points that you'd like to raise, or if you need any other examples because you've not studied these or that you just don't like them, then please comment and let me know. The next video will be dealing with these ethical issues, so good luck again, guys.